I'm Jason UFC, and today we have a story about Henry Triple C Cejudo says, "That's it. There's no more excuses, people. Jon Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist of all time." After Jon Jones' heavyweight debut win at UFC 285. Henry Cejudo said the debate is over on who is the greatest of all time after Jon Jones' win at UFC 285. Jon Jones was able to quickly submit Cyril Gane in round one after over 3 year layoff to capture the vacant heavyweight title in this past Saturday's headliners 285 headliner at T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Already widely considered one of the greatest fighters of all time, the the former UFC light heavyweight champion, two-time champion, added even more to his legacy by capturing a second belt, which Cejudo says separate Jon Jones from the rest of the sport's greats. Quote, "Jon Jones did what he had to get done," Cejudo said on his very popular YouTube channel. Jon Jones executed the game plan. He did very, very well. His leg kicks, the way he delivered his takedowns, the way that he was able to have the tenacity to control a guy like Cyril, and how he did it. Jon Jones just cemented himself as the greatest of all time. No more excuses. No more George St. Pierre. No more Anderson Silva. No more Habib Nurmagomedov. No more Demetrius Johnson. No more Fedor. Who else do y'all say? No more anybody. His name is Jon Jones, and he is the greatest pound for pound mixed martial artists of all time. Cejudo played a part in Jon Jones' successful heavyweight debut. The former UFC dual champ Henry Cejudo and Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo wrestler talked Jon Jones through the exact wrestling exchange which led to the fight-ending sequence during their last training session before the fight. Henry Cejudo has now assisted Weili, Figueiredo, and Jones, three fighters, all in different weight classes, in capturing UFC gold. How about that? Okay, well, yeah. Quick story. I mean, the quote is basically what Henry Cejudo is saying, that after Jon Jones' performance at UFC 285, after being undefeated in the UFC light heavyweight, after taking 3 years off, after not necessarily after not getting a submission victory in quite some time, right? It's been some time since Jon Jones got a submission victory. It's been some time since Jon Jones even had a mixed martial art fight. So for him to take off, literally, we have to really think. Jon Jones was off for 3 years. Like, we have to really think about that. Very few fighters have taken that much time off, walked back into the octagon, got a title shot, and finished the fight in 2 minutes. It's really historic. And when we look back on this 5, 10, 20, 100 years from now, we're just gonna, this is the Michael Jordan. This is the this is the Tom Brady, right? This is the moment you look back on and just say, wow, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. Like, if you made a movie like this, you would think it was fake. You're just like, come on, this is corny. You're like, this is mad corny. The guy was 205 pounds. You're telling me he's going to take 3 years off, right? Move up to a completely different division, fight a former interim champion, fight the guy who last fight, he when Cyril Gane last fought for the championship, he didn't get knocked out by Francis Ngannou in the first round. He went 5 rounds with Francis Ngannou, and you're telling me the guy who weighed 205 pounds 3 years ago, not fight anybody in 3 years, walks into the octagon and taps that guy out within 2 minutes. It's just like, come on, what kind of Disney? Like, you wouldn't believe it. You would think this movie is corny, but that's how good Jon Jones is. And if you look at Jon Jones' resume, he's defeated former champions. He's even defeated current champions, right? Jon Jones defeated Brandon Vera, who I believe is the current champion in one current heavyweight champion, and he defeated Ryan Bader, who's the current Bellator heavyweight champion. So Jon Jones is undoubtedly, like, I totally agree with Henry Cejudo. It's not even a question. Jon Jones is the greatest MMA fighter of all time, and period. I'm Jason, UFC. Unless you have a different opinion, right? You could put your name in there, back it up with who you think is the greatest MMA fighter of all time. That's fine. But I agree with Henry Cejudo. It's Jon Jones, and that's basically it. I'm Jason, UFC. Today we had a story about Henry Triple C Cejudo says, no more excuses, people. Jon Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. Here on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.